You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Sabre Zone.
Hi folks, welcome to the Sabre Zone. This is the video on this channel that discusses and talks about what you had to say. So I had a clip. It was actually kind of a request clip, but I kind of turned it into a Sabre Zone because the truth is, I was too damn lazy to research it. Sorry. Okay, so let's go into this. Let me open it up. Okay, here comes a clip. All right, Christian Wagner gets a shout out. He goes, Wayne, what was our top 5 hitting games and our outcome? What is our most hits in a game this year and last? And maybe you meant last year or least. See, that's why I didn't really make a video, because I wasn't sure what you meant there either. Seems when we always play Boston and we hit, why? Because we hate Boston, Christian. Why can't we play like that all the time? We don't like Boston. But our top hitting game, I believe, was Pittsburgh. We got 43 hits in that game, right? Or 44 hits, 44 or 43 hits. And they had, it was a one-hit difference. I can't remember if they out-hit us by one or if we out-hit them by one, but it was 43 or 44. It was the Pittsburgh game. If you go look at the box score from, and our least hits in a game, I don't even want to talk about if that's what you were asking. I don't know. But the question that Christian puts out there, guys, is why can't we play like that all the time? 2 words, Don Granato. And it's not a cheap shot at Don Granato, but that's not what he's teaching them. He's teaching them to skate with the puck and make plays and make life hell for this team tonight, guys. You go out there, you make it hell for all the opposing players with our offense. I think in time, Don Granato is going to, I don't think he can't be that stupid of a coach to think that you can be the worst hitting team in hockey and win the Stanley Cup. There's no way he thinks that. So what's the motive then, right? Christian, what is the motive? Why is it he not only, I would say, discourages hitting, that he doesn't really focus on it? If you look at him in interviews, once in a while he'll talk physicality, once in a while, not often. What he usually talks about is development. And I think that's why. I think we're in that stage of our development, Christian, that this is weird. You know, this is a weird thing. Like, I remember with the Scotty rebuild in '83, I remember that team, the Scotty Bowman rebuild, and that team was physical, but they skated. And he paid attention to special teams, Scotty, back then. What they were trying to develop back in the early '80s, guys, was a team that was big, okay, especially on the blue line. They wanted to build a big blue line, a big team, and they had one of the biggest teams in the league right away. And we had guys up and coming like Adam Creighton and all these big guys that were up and coming. The Sabres wanted to build a big team with one of the smallest home ices in the NHL. When you think about it, it was a genius strategy by Scotty Bowman. He was preparing this team. And I'll tell you what, early on in that team's development, I mean, they showed promise in the playoffs. Swept Montreal, put the Bruins to Game 7 in overtime. I mean, we showed promise right away. So you would think that this team is going to explode, and it never did because it was a young team. It was taking more time, and you had ownership who wanted a Stanley Cup. They didn't just want a team that's going to be last overall so you can get Pierre Turgeon in a draft. That's not what the deal was with Scotty. They wanted to get a team like '83 that was going to keep going and going and going up that ladder, not fall off a cliff and then come back again, which is kind of similar to what's going on here, because we fell off the cliff the Jack Eichel year with the neck and everything. That was where the Sabres finally, as a franchise, fell off the cliff, finally. Because this whole Jack Eichel illusion I was sick of. I was, guys. Can't tell you how annoying his press conferences were and stuff. I just couldn't stand it. Like, there was so much with Jack Eichel I just wanted gone, you know? And especially fans were even brainwashed to think that Jack Eichel was the thing that was keeping us alive. If anything, he was the one killing us. You know, his $10 million cap hit? No. This time around, we have a GM that is being careful with the money. Careful with the money. That's why, yes, people say, well, we got all this cap space. We should go and get somebody. Why? Why? That's the question, is why? Because this year, unless you're getting somebody with term you can foresee in your long-term plans, I don't want to get a rental and give up a draft pick. It would be the stupidest thing we've ever done. No. No, we don't want to give up our drafts for rentals, that's for sure. We're not in a Stanley Cup hunt this year. This is a development year. We're the youngest team in hockey. We're not going to be pushing for a Stanley Cup here, guys. Now, I'm not saying they wouldn't if they got in and went crazy. That's different. But getting in is all the work. It takes 82 games to get in. It takes 4 games to be memories forever in the playoffs. It takes 4 wins, and you got memories forever. But it takes 82 hard games to get to that. So to get to that, there's development stages, there's winning streaks, losing streaks. You guys see we're struggling at home. You know, there's things that are happening. Although I'm feeling better about the home all of a sudden, because they were kind of on life support and they won at home when they were on life support. So that was good. We'll see how that breaks down when they get back. But right now, you know, when it comes to hitting, I think the reason why with Boston, I think the gloves are off when we play Boston. I do. Because I think Granato understands in a game like that, what this can do for a young squad to beat these guys. When we beat them in their home ice this year, that was a hell of an accomplishment. It was. You know, I mean, we come back and we won, you know. So it was a hell of an accomplishment. But I want to beat them again next time we play them. I want to beat them in Buffalo, these guys. I want them to know they're not alone in this division, you know, that there's a young and up-and-coming team that has them basically on the totem pole to come after eventually, you know. So I want them to know that. I would love nothing more than, like I was saying in the other video, to play them in a series. I would love for that. I think that would be the best thing for our development. The best thing, Christian, for our physical behavior on the ice would be to play Boston in a 7-game series. That way, if they kick our ass and beat us all over the place physically and humiliate us, maybe then we'll wake up that way. If we don't wake up ahead of time, and I think we would though. I don't think it would come to that. I think we would be ready physically for them. And they wouldn't expect that. And that could be where we catch them off guard. That they're expecting a soft team to come at them, and all of a sudden we're throwing our body at them. And we got some big boys on this team. Don't think we can't. We can. So there's a lot of potential on this team just as it is. But I would like to see them add some muscle. And I would like to see them add a kind of one of these psychotic players that everybody's kind of doesn't want to play against. You know, it doesn't have to be the most talented guy, but just somebody that goes out there and just lets everybody have it, like a Gudis type. For those Sabres fans that say, I wouldn't want Gudis, you don't realize what we're missing on this team. You just don't. I mean, of course you don't want him, you hate him, but that's what we're missing. We're missing that player that everybody hates. Why do you think Boston's so successful at Marchand? In their lowest points, the Bruins come back. And they come back because they're stubborn. And they got these guys that are hated in the league. And very well respected guys like Bergeron. These are champions on that team. That's why they're champions. And for us to be champions, got to get more physical, of course. I think it's coming, though. I don't think it's something that the Sabres are going to avoid. No. No team in the right mind would do that. So, no, I think it's coming. I just think it's on the agenda right now is Granato wants to see them be the fastest team in the league, the highest scoring team in the league. And then that's when him and I'm sure Adams will sit down and say, okay, phase 2, we got to get meaner. We got to get meaner. I'm sure they're going to have this discussion when the time is right with them. And we as fans are impatient. We want it now. I get that, guys, 100%. I get it 100%. I'm like that. You guys know it. It drives me nuts just as soon as yesterday when I'm watching them not hit and they're just passing in their zone, but they're developing a game of guts. That's one thing they're doing. No team in the league, I think, is as loose cannons like the Sabres are. I mean, they're crazy. They're in their zone. They could be 2 men short in overtime and or 2 men short, on the power play, and they're going to try and make it a play to go up ice with it somehow. This is just the way they play. They're not scared. They come at you, and come at you again. So I don't want them to change that either. You know what I mean? But yes, the physical thing I do think will be addressed. I do. I don't think this is something we got to stress about forever. I just think probably next year they'll look a little more at this in the offseason, break it down. They know what we know. They didn't put together the best scoring team in the NHL by accident. They know what they're doing. So we got to be patient, right? That's the old cliche, be patient. But I watch games and I swear I just... Maybe I'll record myself watching a game one time. Let you guys see what I go through. It's not fun. All right, guys. See you in the next one.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to ensure Dimension access.